برای توی کوچه رقصیدن، برای ترسیدن به وقت بوسیدن، برای خواهرم، خواهرت، خواهرامون، برای تغییر مغزها که پوسیدن، برای شرمندگی، برای بیپولی، برای حسرت یک زندگی معمولی، برای کودک زباله‌گرد و آرزوهاش، برای این اقتصاد دستوری، برای این هوای آلوده، برای ولیعصر و درختای فرسوده، برای پیروز و احتمال انقراضش، برای سگهای بیگناه ممنوعه، برای گریه های بیوقفه، برای تصویر تکرار این لحظه، برای چهره ای که میخنده، برای دانش آموزا، برای آینده، برای این بهشت اجباری، برای نخبه های زندانی، برای کودکان افغانی، برای این همه، برای غیر تکراری.
One of the most simple, basic needs: a touch, a hug, unconditional love. I might add, this is my hometown. This video was filmed in Karaj, where I was raised. Very proud of them. And I might also add, for anyone who thinks, what's the big deal? Under Islam, in Islamic law, a girl at age 7 and up is not allowed to touch, hug, or shake the hand of a man. So for them to stand there and hold each other's hand, give each other hugs, fist bumps, shake hands, have no hijab on, even though it's 2022 and we're in Western countries enjoying our freedoms, for them, it's a huge step towards freedom, and such a positive note for anyone out who's reporting that people are turning against each other. They wanted to make the point that they are not. Welcome to Let's Be Frank. We're very glad you're with us today. There's a lot to discuss, but we figured after many weeks of giving you bad news and sad news, including today, we might as well start with something positive to boost us up before we dive into some of the sadness. Hey, Michael, how's it going?
Oh, it's just another day in paradise over here, like it always is. But you're right. It's such a simple, basic gesture that we take for granted here, like so many of our freedoms. But to see how big of an impact it means, and to think what would your life be like here if you couldn't shake the hand or give somebody a hug that you ran into in the street? If there might be criminal penalties for that, you could be beaten or thrown in jail or have to suffer the consequences. It's something so simple. And this is all they want is just to be able to lead the same kind of normal life that we have here.
Exactly.
Very powerful image.
Agreed. Well, when I got the video, I believe it was sometime late afternoon yesterday, which I immediately sent it to you. When I got it, I think I watched it on a loop for a good hour, Michael. Again, for me, I get it. It's just watching them do this was something that I taught the first time I was able to do it. And I remembered the feeling, such a conqueror. It's simple here. I mean, we shake a stranger's hand or we give them a hug out of the blue. I mean, but we love it. Like one of the things I think I mentioned to you, or maybe on air, I can't remember, when I came back from the Lake of Ozark event, and I was so rejuvenated from just the human touch, just all the hugs we did and all the holding hands to say prayers. It's so, we don't even think about it. We just do it. And these kids, and they're kids. If you look at them, they're not older than 18, 19-year-old, the guy and the girl. It's just, powerful, very powerful.
Yeah, it's something basic that if it went away, it would be really impactful. But you're right with that. For us, we don't even think about it. You don't think twice when you see somebody. You're walking through a mall, walking through a store, and you see two people run into each other that know each other, and they give each other a hug. It doesn't even enter our mind twice. But if you saw that there under this system, that would be a big deal, because if the morality police witness it, they're getting hauled off. Something bad's happening.
Absolutely. And since we do have a lot to talk about today, I'm just going to give you a very quick update that the revolution is still ongoing. People are standing strong. Unfortunately, number of injured, killed, and arrested is rising, but that is what a revolution is. And a revolution, unfortunately, you expect this, but it is going in such a positive direction for the people of Iran and many other people that it is going strong. If you missed it yesterday, there were again international rallies out on Saturday, sorry. And Berlin, Germany, definitely historical day. Based on a
Yes.
report by Berlin police itself, they were witnessing more than 80,000 people showed up. And from everywhere, from every nationality, we had Germans, we had French, we had Italians, we had Iranians, all gathered all day long. And one of the most beautiful, unfortunately, I didn't think of grabbing it, but it is posted on my Facebook page. Michael, was the beautiful scene of, you see the crowd of tens of thousands around this little circle area, which shaped an airplane. And mind you, the organizer of this event is one of the people who lost their family members, loved one. He actually lost his wife and his little daughter on the Ukrainian plane that was shot down by Iranian IRGC about 2 years ago. And the shape, it was so amazing to watch the form of a airplane shape made by tens of thousands of people standing and screaming for justice for all people, Iranian people, including those who died in that plane. And no one ever faced any consequences, because that's what Iranians do. They get away, Iranian regime does. They get away with it, which is the main topic of our discussion today. But
yes,
it was so powerful. It was that was the thing. Like, if this isn't God working his plan, then what is it?
Yeah. And you've seen rallies like this in Canada and France and other countries, but I haven't seen anything on near that scale here. And this, again, seems like something we should be getting behind, like this regime falling, even if you just want to look at it from a selfish standpoint of how does it benefit us in the U.S. I mean, the list is endless. We've talked about it before. But it's also that basic call to human freedoms and dignity that everybody should strive for, that we are all deserving of, that are, our basic natural rights, our rights preordained by God. And if we're not willing to get behind people that are putting their lives on the line to struggle for those right now, then what's wrong with us? What's the point of having this country and this nation where we can practice that if we're not willing to get behind other people that are?
Very true. And here's what that's a great segue for me. In a very tragic, and I will say, do pardon me, because after we watch this clip and come back, I might go all crazy on you people. And by you people, I mean my fellow Americans. But now something has happened that has given us the perfect reason, not even excuse, a reason to do get on the streets and do voice our absolute frustration, not even for Iranian people, for ourselves here in America. I'm not sure if any of you have heard, but Tanya Fernandez, she's a councilwoman in Boston, right, Michael?
Yes, city council, I think, or councilman. It's been conflicted in these two stories I read, but I think it's city council. She's
a nobody who has become a somebody in Boston, Massachusetts somehow. And she had something to say about Mahsa Amini and what is happening in Islamic Republic of Iran. Let's go torture ourselves for about 3 minutes and listen to her, sadly. And then when we come back, not only we will discuss what she said and what she's planning to do, but then we will tell you why this is a perfect time for 80,000, maybe 8 million of Americans to be on the streets. Don't go anywhere. Listen carefully to everything she has to say.
The 1283, Councilor Fernandez Anderson, offered the following resolution recognizing Mahsa Amini birthday, September 23rd, as the day of women's right to self-expression, Boston's Hijab Day.
Unfortunately, many people have taken these protests as an opportunity to slander Islam. The Iranian culture for further silence the voice of women across the world. We can never forget the goal of attaining justice for Amini. First and foremost, there is what these protests are about. That is what these protests are about. But many have rightly come to see Amini's death as symbolic of something more to, and we cannot allow misogyny, Islamophobia, or racism to distract us from this point. The Iranian public understands this issue is not an isolated one, and the widespread participation of women, of young Iranian men protesting showed the forms of protest, particularly the burning of headscarves. In fact, in the early 20th century, the Sheikh of Iran actually banned the hijab and was met with resistance across the country, causing many to be arrested while frocking their scarves in protest. Kindly show you the difference, and it'll be quick.
I don't even care for her demonstration. I'm going to say this. First of all, when Tanya was running, yours truly did a full 1.5 hour live show on Facebook, and I begged people to stop her from ever being elected. I did. I gave background as far as her father, who was in prison for affiliation with terror. But I'm going to start here. Let me try to keep this as clean as I can. We are on air on Lindell TV. But I'm going to say this. I don't think Tanya will ever see this video. But if by any chance you do see this video, on behalf of the entire Iranian people, keep Mahsa Amini's name out of your dirty, filthy mouth. This young woman didn't die so you could use her name and her death to promote your Islamization in America. She did not die so you could have another campaign against Islamophobia. I don't think shame on you would cover my feelings. You are a disgrace, not just to Americans, but to human society. The fact that you have the nerves to stand there with a half hijab yourself, you do know if you were wearing that hijab in Iran, you would be laying next to Mahsa Amini as your dead body. You stand there and not only you use this opportunity to promote, oh, we poor Muslims, we're facing Islamophobia, but you try to have a hijab. Why don't we do this? Why don't we just start saying, we're going to call September 11, Let's Love Al-Qaeda Day. Why don't we just say, or we can just say, let's celebrate the Holocaust month as Praise to Hitler month. You're going to have a Boston Hijab Day on Mahsa Amini's birthday, the woman who died under torture and beating for not wearing a proper hijab. And you have to, and I don't even know what is going on in that room. They're just sitting there quietly letting her show the difference between this hijab and that hijab. And she's butthurt because people are burning the hijab. I am this close, Michael. I am this close to do a video and burn a hijab and a prayer rug and a prayer stone and the Quran and a drawing of Muhammad all together. This is America. This is America. My First Amendment allows me to do whatever I want to do as long as it doesn't hurt you physically, not emotionally. But you just proved to the entire country what a filth you are. And I just want to know, where are my fellow Americans in Massachusetts? Why haven't there been a rally of tens of thousands of Americans showing up at that building saying she needs to go?
Yeah, it's so sick, disgusting, and twisted that she would try to equivocate the death of someone. Like the hijab is directly what caused Mahsa Amini's death. And these idiotic rules that they're forced to live under due to Sharia. So for her to twist that around as somehow being Islamophobic, it's causing Islamophobia now. As you've discussed before, Islamophobia isn't real. Phobia implies it's a fear, an unjustified fear, that it's all in your mind. But anyone who's lived under it or anybody that's studied what these people are forced to go through by their oppressive government knows these fears are entirely justified. These people want to kill us. They want us dead. They want to control the world. They want a single caliphate. So we're all just blocks in their way to either be forced to assimilate or to be killed. There is no other path. So it's disgusting on so many levels. And like you said, too, the fact that they're giving her a floor in an official government meeting and letting her just trash this poor woman's name and everybody else that's bravely standing up in Iran because of this. Like this is the spark of fire of freedom. that was the finally like one blow too many. The people couldn't take it. It finally pushed them over the edge, and now they're on the verge of taking control of their country and overthrowing this Islamic dictatorship. And she's trying to twist the facts to her benefit. I mean, there's a special place in hell for people like this.
Agreed. There is definitely a special place in hell, but I don't understand why are we waiting until she goes and go to afterlife hell?
Right.
Can we make her life living hell right now? And by the way, is anybody who's going to twist my words? I'm not saying in any shape or form commit any kind of violence against her. No. However, why are we just minding our own business? Why is this not highlight of every single channel? Where's Me Too movement? Where are the feminazis out there? Where are all the women? Where are all the Christians? Where are all the Americans? Where are you? How much more are they going to shove down our throats before we actually get angry?
Exactly.
You really think this is just about Mahsa Amini who died in Iran and we shouldn't care? No, this is just the beginning here. Michael, you're my witness. About a month ago, I said, if we don't pay attention to what's happening in Iran, we're going to miss what's happening here. And there you go.
Yeah. Well, again, this goes back to other things that you've discussed plenty of times. This is paving the path for special rules, special laws that will protect people like this, where you can't say things they don't like or do things they don't like. And you're also exactly right. There should be protests in the street right now wanting this woman to resign. Like I don't know if there's rules in Massachusetts to recall her. But again, like somebody should be organizing a petition to do that and have her pulled out of office if that's a possibility. If it isn't, then protest in the street and tell her she's got to resign.
Well, here's the thing. It's not just her. Everyone in that room who sat there quietly, everyone in that room who clapped, everyone in that room who didn't get up and say, what did you just say? Every single one of them should be held accountable. I don't know when, a few days ago, I saw Will Johnson. Last week on one of his shows said it is time to hold America accountable. I agree with him. Everyone in that room, from the guy who made the announcement to Tanya, to the head, everybody should be held accountable right now. It's a wait a minute. So now America is the place that uses innocent people's death to further agenda. Biden used it to push for abortion. AOC used it to push abortion. Freaking crazy Ilhan Omar that I cannot stand her for a second. Use it for pushing abortion. Funny enough, if you do abortion under Islam, you will be killed. It's not just that you're not allowed to do it. If you did it, the mother and the doctor will be executed under Islam. But somehow she's out there promoting it. Now Tanya comes and uses it to have a hijab day. Are you kidding me? So yes, it's not just about her resigning. It's about making an example. We need to learn. We gotta start. Look, I said this on Brown & House show on Friday night regarding the Beirut situation. I said the problem is leftists have the time and the resources and the passion for justice to do a witch hunt for January 6th. Right? But not for anything else. If anything doesn't fit their narrative, they're not going to go make an example out of anybody. But at least they make an example of somebody. On our side, we don't make an example out of anybody. They killed Ashley Babbitt. We didn't say anything. They arrested our innocent people who have the right to protest the government. We didn't say anything. They stole our election. Well, that's okay. Inflation is off the charts. Gas prices are crazy. Shut down the pipeline. Should I go on? You get my gist.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Our side doesn't respond. We won't hold people accountable, and we won't use the tools we have. Instead, we always try to play nice. When the other side does something bad or illegal, we don't pursue it. We don't press charges. They don't go to jail. And I don't know if we have the memory of a goldfish or what the problem is, but we seem to just sweep everything under the rug. It's like we don't want to deal with it. It's too hard. It's too difficult to have to justify our points and be mean to the other side. This is what we get because of that.
No, we don't have a memory of a goldfish. Here's my analysis, my philosophy. Conservatives, especially Christian conservatives, we are American-loving people. We love America. We feel like if we say anything about it, then we're not loving it. What we don't realize is we love America as the nation, one nation under God. We love our Constitution, yes. But is America the nation we know? Is America constitutional anymore? No. It's kind of like loving your kid, but when you love your kid, you still call them out on their misbehavior. You still discipline them. You still ground them. If you don't, there are families who don't, and then you end up with a disaster in your hands when they turn 16, 17, 18, 20, whatever. And then it's too late to do anything because, well, they formed their personality with misbehaving. It's the same thing. Yeah. Look at America as our child. There are things that are extremely wrong, by looking the other way doesn't make America the America we grew up in, including myself being here for 20 years. You have got to call it out. You have got to discipline it. You have got to ground it. You have got to do the right thing regardless of, but that's the thing, the fear of thinking, I'm saying something. Remember, during President Trump, if you would post anything saying, I don't agree with President Trump, you would get literally butchered online because you said something wrong about President Trump. Like, I did it over the Iran deal that took him so long to walk away, and at first attempted to do a negotiation. I came out and said, no. You promised to walk away. I was demolished within 10 minutes. Oh, you're jumping off the Trump train. I'm like, no, I'm disagreeing with the policy. It's my right to do that. But that's the thing. Our side is like, we're perfect. We're perfect. Left bad, but left doesn't count as America. How many times, Michael, how many times have you heard, oh, Michigan isn't America anymore? What? Since when?
Oh, dozens of times. Yeah. And that's part of the problem is it's like when things aren't perfect, we just want to walk away. When instead, like, we should all be striving to fix the flaws. The country is never going to be perfect. There's never going to be everything exactly how we envision it. We're always going to have to hold ourselves and our leaders accountable to live up to that American dream and American ideals. When we stop doing it, that's how we end up in the situation we're in now. And this has been going on for a while.
Exactly. Very much. But a wonderful, lovely, very brave woman. I believe she's about 90, 87-year-old. Has even better, the most perfect answer to Tanya's idea and Tanya's lies. It's literally a few seconds. Let's go listen. It is in Farsi, but it does have the subtitle or English translation on the screen. I can't get enough of watching this video. Let's watch this. And then, as I said, I'm pretty sure Tanya will not see this, but I hope she does. Because it's one thing for me to say something because, you know, I'm just Islamophobe. It's something for you to say because you're a white supremacist. But it's very different when a almost 90-year-old woman, all the way from Iran, answers her.
دینی که میخواد مردم رو بکشه به خاطر جوانامون بعد 80 سال برای این دینی که میخواد مردم رو بکشه من این روز حجاب را سرم برمیدارم. باز میگن مرد به اون ترسوها، اونایی که صدای منو میشنون بدونن بازم ترسوی که نمیان بیرون، بیان بیرون.
I got a mic drop. She said a religion that's going to kill our innocent people. Take that, Tanya.
Yeah.
Take that to the bank. Is that how you say it? Take that to the bank?
Yeah, take that to the bank. It's such a beautiful statement for her to make, too, because like you mentioned to me on the phone, this is somebody that grew up to it, that chose that life for so long. Her son lost his life to it. The Iranian officials know exactly who she is. So just her putting this statement out means if they want to come get her, she's dead.
Yep.
It's very brave of her and very powerful to make this statement, to stand up to them and stand up to the tyranny and the oppression that they've all been forced to live under of her for 87 years, that it cost her son his life.
Exactly.
She's not afraid anymore.
And that's the thing. Tanya can stand there and play the victim as much as she wants.
Yeah.
Tens, or maybe hundreds of thousands of people, women of any age you name it, in Iran, We have videos of a 7-year-old girl tearing Khomeini's pictures off her book, and all the way to almost 90-year-old Gohar, who just removed her hijab, and everyone in between. You are not going to prove every single one of them Islamophobe. And you are living here in America under the Constitution with the freedoms that will protect you. They are not. So I just wanted to play this. First of all, as I said, I never get tired of watching her do that. It's so amazing. And again, I mean, on a personal, it's like as soon as she removed her hijab, it was like I saw my grandma. Like all the silver hair in the face. It's like, oh my goodness. And I know for a fact if she was alive, she would definitely be doing videos like that, regardless of consequences. But it's not gonna happen. It will happen in America for Tanya, but there is no way she or anyone like Tanya will have the power or the ability to stop the Iranian women from achieving freedom. I just needed to put this out there. You want to abuse this situation. Most sick people do that. They turn any circumstances about them and they turn it into what they can get out of it. That's all right. But I just want to make sure that our audience are aware in no shape or form does any of these people's attack on what's happening in Iran affect what people of Iran are going to achieve. I want to just say this. Representative Jim Banks apparently put out a bill that is called Mahsa's bill, which is requesting sanction of the Iran's supreme leader Khamenei. I got a text from Iranians saying that not a single House Democrats have actually supported Representative Jim Banks' bill. And it goes to say also a post that estimated 1.5 million Iranians are in America, and that is not including the second generation. And the request is for all Iranians to make sure not to vote Democrat comes midterm. This is another positive I want to put out there. I actually, off air, I told you, Michael, I said they better be careful of their steps because midterms are coming. And I know half of you are screaming, oh, elections fraud anyways. Get it. But there's a difference here. When you have lots of Iranian hardcore Democrats that I personally know who have literally announced that they will never, ever, regardless of what happens tomorrow, they will never, ever again vote Democrat, that is a huge message.
Yes.
That is a message of regardless. Now, here's where I'm going to sound somewhat offensive, and that's okay because that's my First Amendment right.
That's right.
Watch as whatever happens in midterms. You know, they stole the 2020 election, and we did a little tiny bit of... but we're talking 1.5 million Iranians, which 1 million probably, are absolutely going to vote Republicans midterm. And if this one is hijacked, watch as Iranians will march the streets of America. I'm not making threats just in case if FBI is watching. This is not a threat. This is fact.
Yes.
We don't sit back. If they voted Republican, and if we know for a fact 1 million Iranians have switched their votes, and in any shape or form this election is stolen, we will take the streets. But the only question is, are our fellow Americans going to join us this time? Or is that going to be yet another, it's an Iranian thing, not our business. I will say this one more time. Not a single Democrat has supported the sanction on Khamenei, the supreme leader of Islamic Republic of Iran. Is this somewhat enough for fellow Americans to join the fight? They have officially proven to us that they will stand by the regime of Iran, by the monster mullahs who are genocidal. Are you going to join us? Because, I mean, Michael, we can't make the announcements today, but a couple of events are coming up. And we're going to go forward with them, regardless of how many people do show up. But the question is, how many of the people are going to have a school or can't take a day off from job or have COVID or has a cold or they twisted their ankle not to show up? That is the question I have today.
Exactly, because the time has come for us to actually make our voices heard, to get out there in the street and at the ballot box. And you're right, this is a seismic shift. 1 million votes getting pulled away from one party and moved to the other. That's 2 million points. That's that's a million being taken away from one side, moved to the other. Most of these elections shift on 3-point to 5-point margins, and that is huge. And it's also people that are very motivated, that have been insulted and pushed by this party so far that they're moving away from the Democrats and to the Republicans. That is a very powerful ally that our side should be reaching out to and should be making them understand that, yes, we are the home of freedom. We represent your side, that what you don't want to see this oppression come here too. So these are people that understand our motives. So we need to be reaching out to them, and we need to show them why the Republican Party and conservatism is the answer.
Well, here's the better news on it, though, Michael. Let's break it down. The Iranian population in America. California holds the highest number. Blue state. California has a very good chance right now to flip fully. Then we go to DC, between DC and New York, with the highest population. This one might shock you. Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Then we have Illinois. These are the states that holds the highest number of Iranian population. These are the states that we do need flipped. Again, I'll go back to tell me God is not working. This is all his plan. That's why, as heartbreaking as it is to watch all of this go down, I have regained my smile, if that's a way to put it. Because I know where this is going. But then my doubt is, are Americans ready to join and play their role in this plan?
Exactly. Because that's what's needed. A million people nationwide is a lot of people, but we need to, as Americans, get behind them and support them, both for what this means for the cause of freedom, and again, they have every reason to be part of the same movement we are. So welcome them to that. Let them know that we're their allies. And again, at the end of the day, the Islamic regime falling in Iran benefits the entire world. This takes the legs out from the financial and logistic support for terrorists across the globe, and for America's enemies, for China, Russia, and a lot of these other countries that are opposing us. You're taking a key piece of their infrastructure away.
Exactly. We could continue talking about this situation for probably another 3 days, but let's take a quick break, come back, because we still do want to talk about today. Today, October 23rd, 39 years since the very first official casualty-involved terror attack on America by Islamic Republic of Iran's regime that has been ongoing and is still going and will keep on going if that regime is not toppled. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Extractgevity is an all-natural energy and health drink developed by Brannon House several years ago with a team of experts. Extractgevity supports a healthy heart, strong immunity, skin, hair and nails, cognitive health, and cellular health. This all-natural energy drink is loaded with antioxidants. But don't take our word for it. Do your own research to find the benefits of red wine extract, bilberry extract, grapeseed extract, pine bark extract, and vitamin C. Brannon credits Extractgevity in part for his abundance of energy and good health. Order your 30-day supply now at mystore.com. Be sure to use the promo code on the screen for a generous discount. Extractgevity, your all-natural source for energy and good health. Find it at mystore.com.
Welcome back to Let's Be Frank. Thank you so much for staying with us until now. If you have, please do go to mystore.com. Not just Extractgevity, there are plenty of products there, all made in USA, that you can grab. Also mypillow.com, and use the promo code AC21. AC as of Annie Cyrus. AC21. You get discounts. We get credit, as Brandon says. I love how I just keep learning fast, effective sentences from Brandon. And it will support this program, Let's Be Frank. Also, my daily program from Monday through Friday, 2:30 Central Time on Lindell TV. It's a huge support. Christmas coming up, so do your Christmas shopping. Also, you can do your Christmas shopping at lutfstudio.com if you like to give a handmade, one-of-a-kind piece of art as gift that's where you can find it. I have definitely updated my inventory there. We got plenty, I think, with 38 items there, from crosses to trays to coasters, candle holders, and many other items that I can't really recall on top of my head. We are also now taking custom orders for Christmas. So if you want something, a specific color or a theme, all you need to do is message us on Etsy, lutfstudio.com. And then I will get in touch with you and we will make that. We still have enough time to deliver. Okay, that being said, Michael, floor is yours 39 years ago today.
Yeah, so today's the 39th anniversary of the Beirut barracks bombing, where 305 people were killed. Well, 305 plus 2 terrorists. But this was the largest loss of Marines since the Battle of Iwo Jima. 220 were killed on that day when 2 cowards drove trucks into the U.S. Marine barracks in Beirut, and then another one was driven into a French barracks where another 58 French military were killed. What's disgusting about this is we did nothing. And this was following an embassy bombing just a few months before that in April, I believe, April 18th, where 63 were killed, mostly CIA operatives. I think 1 military member was there, and then a lot of like innocent civilians that just happened to be on the street. But this was the first major direct attacks by Iran following the hostage crisis. And unfortunately, we sent the message that we weren't going to respond, because there was no response, no major response against any Islamic terror from our regime, all the way up until the flight Pan Am 103, when we finally went after Gaddafi and bombed his whole entire family. But this really did set the narrative throughout the 80s that we're not going to respond. There was a planned airstrike, but it was they pulled the plug on it the last minute. They actually didn't even tell the president they were going to. He was surprised and shocked that we didn't go through with it. But this is the pattern, that we would continue to try to work with people instead of doing what was right and retaliating, sending that message. Instead, we sent the message that we're weak, you can get away with whatever you want, and we're not going to do anything about it. There's a slide that we'll bring up here in a minute. The people that planned these bombings, all these attacks, they got away with it. There was zero retribution. We never did anything. We never pursued them. And the point, Annie, that you were making earlier, I thought was great. Now, if you ran into any one of these people on the street, they just look like anybody else that you would meet. These don't look like that stereotypical image that a lot of people have in their head of what a terrorist appears to be. I mean, the guy third from the right, you see him. I could see like running into him at a library.
Right, and that's the thing. Let me just very quickly, since I have it right here, I think I have it right here in front of me. This picture was taken in 1980, so this is 3 years before the bombing, and this is in Beirut. The guy with the glasses, white shirt and some dark tie, he's Lebanese, and then the other 3 are Iranian. I'm going to quickly, I know names aren't really that important, but I'm going to just tell you from right to left. You have Mohsen Rezai, who was the general of IRGC at that point. And then you have Anis Naqash, which was the hired terrorist by Islamic Republic of Iran's IRGC in Lebanon, because he was Lebanese born and knew the language. And then you have Mohsen Saleh Hosseini, which was the backer and the strategist for IRGC. And then last but not least, you have Mohsen Rafiqdous, who was the foreign ambassador for IRGC. That's what their titles were, publicly out there. When the Beirut attack happened, are you telling me nobody went talking to these people? Are you telling me they didn't know they exist? And as you said, the first time I ever saw this picture, before going on air, I also told you, so you look at it, doesn't this remind you of CARE members, like all dolled up and all westernized, and they come there and say Islam is a religion of peace. The importance of, first of all, it is important to, those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it, which sadly, apparently, well, we just keep repeating it, but it's important to bring up today. Now, of course, Brannon House did the first discussion with me on Friday about it, but today being the exact day of it, it's important to talk about it. It's important to remember those who lost their lives. It's important to remember something very important. So in 2000, I'm going to say 7, might be 6, 8, somewhere there, in America, a federal judge issued a judgment of $2.6 billion that Islamic Republic of Iran needs to pay to the family members of the Marines and those who were killed in Beirut attack of October 23rd, 1983, $2.6 billion. Since that day until today, we have given billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars to Iranian regime. Never ever did anybody say, hey, let's deduct $2.6 billion from it and give it to the families. So sometimes when I say, well, whatever judgment we get in America, we might as well just frame it and put it on the wall. This is why. Islamic Republic of Iran's IRGC was found guilty. We know for a fact they were behind it. There is evidence. I'm no investigator. Well, I'm investigative journalist. I guess that's not law. But even I can, in matter of 20 minutes in this presentation, I can prove Iran was behind it. But no, let's just give them their billions. And the family members who got all excited that they got justice, they technically never got justice. Now, I'm not going to get too sidetracked because we don't have too much time. But the point is, the reason it's important to talk about this is right now, it's a turning point in history of human society. Again, tying it back to what's happening in Islamic Republic of Iran. There's a revolution going on. And it's not a bad revolution. It's not like communists is taking over. It's not like 1979 revolution. It is absolutely what I would call it a white revolution. Not to say this is a color revolution. No. White as of being peace and freedom revolution. So
I mean, the people are chanting in the street, "We the people." If that doesn't tell you what this is about, then you don't understand the situation.
Exactly. And also they're chanting woman life freedom. That it's been said by few historians in one of them is a French, one of them is how do you pronounce that country? Netherlands. Sorry, we have a different name for it, so I have to every time think what is Netherlands. They have said that this is by far the biggest feminist revolution in modern history. The biggest.
Oh, yeah.
So this isn't about religion. This is about yada, yada, yada. You know all of that. My point is 39 years and counting, and our so-called government is still on the side of the regime. It's still on the side of the Islamist terrorists. So wake up.
Yeah.
It's important to bring this back. And as you said, the point is, why is this not being taught at the schools? Why a lot of Americans don't even know about it?
No, it's completely being forgotten about. And like, I'm just old enough to kind of remember the aftermath of this when I was a really little kid. I remember it being brought up when there were other attacks. Like, I remember Pan Am 103, and I remember the aftermath of that. And I remember them going back to this, that it was all part of the same game. And our country has forgotten about these people that were murdered. These 305 Americans that died in this attack, the 63 that died in the previous attack on the embassy, and everyone else that's lost their lives along the way, all the way up until September 11th. It basically gets lip service now.
I was barely not even born when this happened. If this actually, tragically, this happened about 9 weeks or so before my birthday. But the reason I'm very well aware of it is they do teach this at a school. They do, in a very proud way. In order to convince you that you need to walk on the streets and chant death to America and step on the flag and join the burning of the American flag, they teach this part of history. But we don't. Because, as I said, they are proud of what they did, but I'm guessing we are ashamed of what we didn't do. And the pattern is, in lack of a better term, Michael, so interesting. Have you noticed, especially when you very generously stepped in and helped me with my presentation for Lake of Ozark, as I was sending you information and you were sending me information and we're gathering everything, it was like a refreshing our memory. And both of us at some point, this was, I think, after I contacted you, I'm like, you have got to watch the Escape from Kabul. We're talking about it.
Yeah.
Our lovely audience, put 1 hour, 9 minutes of your time and watch Escape from Kabul by HBO Max. Watch it. Now, if you don't watch it, over the next few weeks, me and Michael are going to bring up some of the clips from it to talk to him. Amazingly surprised for HBO Max to put together such documentary, interviewing the actual Marines there, the women who escaped, and actual members of Taliban, and tell the truth about what happened behind the scene during the evacuation, the disastrous evacuation from Kabul, Afghanistan, when we did the withdrawal. But my point is, that's when I called you. I'm like, this pattern of behavior is so screaming in my face of lack of reaction.
Yes. Yeah, because it's not a new thing. And I watched this other CNN documentary that was done a number of years ago, like from the quality of the film, I'd say it was probably like done in like the mid 90s maybe. But it was about specifically focusing on the Beirut bombings. And there was a lack of response then. So this is a well-established pattern of behavior. The reason I brought that up, though, is what a couple of the people that were interviewed on that thing, like I thought, Iran expected a response. And when there wasn't one, this let them know, hey, we can do whatever we want. They expected there to be some kind of retaliation or retribution or something to happen. I mean, this is 3 major bombings, two military bases and an embassy within a period of just a couple months. I think it was April and October. So just a period of a couple months, and we did nothing, zero about it. Instead, we did an arms deal with them. We did the Iran-Contra. We sold them weapons.
Talk about that. Here's the thing. To this day, there is within the government, if you literally right now ask the American regime, or Obama's, or Clinton's, or Bush, or any of them, all the way back to Carter. No, sorry, Reagan. I got confused between the hostage crisis and the bombing. See, that's the thing. They've done so much, you get confused which one you talk about. However, actually, hold that thought. On the presentation, I believe we had 7 attacks between 73 and 77, right?
And I didn't even put all of them on that timeline.
83 to 87. We had 7 attacks specifically on American embassies, American bases, American. Anyways, back to it. When you ask, they say there is a lack of evidence for us to prove that Islamic Republic of Iran was behind it, because originally the organization that took responsibility was called the Islamic Jihad Organization, which again, there's more than enough evidence that it was built or put together or made by IRGC. But the supposedly lack of evidence is why we didn't respond, because regime didn't come out and say we did it. Okay, I sent you the picture of the tomb. Let's actually show this to people. So what you're looking at is a tomb. Is that what you call it, right? Tomb?
Yeah, or monument. Okay. Either one works.
This is in Tehran, Iran, in the section, in the biggest cemetery in the country, in the section of the Islamic martyrs or Islamic jihadists, shaheeds. This is dedicated by itself. It has 4 walls in 4 languages, repeated the same information: Farsi, Arabic, Farsi, English, Arabic, French, 4 languages. Now, mind you, this is one of the things that really you need evidence. They attack an American base and a French base, and the tomb has 2 languages of French and English. Okay, but the tomb, it says this is dedicated to our martyred brothers, the 20 and 21-year-old who drove the trucks bravely and gave their life in way of Allah to destroy and kill the enemy. Goes on to say, this mission was and is still the proof that we can take out the great Satan, because they are so weak, they will never retaliate. Seriously, look up the Beirut bombing tomb in Tehran. You'll find it. You can read it yourself. I'm not even making this up. You can't make this up. But this went up in 2005. 2005 until today, they had the actual evidence right there with the tomb that Iran was behind it, right? Not only we didn't do anything, as again discussed on my presentation at Brannan's event, 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, and 2010, Ahmadinejad, the president of time, came to America every single year to give a speech at UN convention on the September of each year. And this tomb went up on October of 2005 under his presidency, and next year we welcome him back and back and back and back. And on top of that, we know all for a fact that Ahmadinejad was one of the hostage takers during the hostage crisis. Again, lack of response.
Yeah, like I can't say the statement on this monument is untrue. It's exactly factual. Like we keep saying, we've proven over and over again, we're not going to retaliate, that we won't stand up for ourselves or end this evil in this world. Instead, we try to either negotiate it, or now we just give them money. We keep unlocking funds. And again, as you alluded to earlier, there was a court case where the victims from this were supposed to receive $2.6 billion. Instead, we just unlock all their funds, unfreeze their assets. You know, our people, the Americans, the families that suffered and died when their husbands and their children and whoever else were killed in this blast, they get nothing. Instead, we just hand the money back to the Islamic regime, who's going to use this money right now to kill their own people and to fund other operations that will kill more Americans and kill more innocent people across the Middle East.
Exactly. And that's the thing. As much as I want to say, Biden bad, Kamala bad, Hussein bad, but we're talking 39 years.
Yeah, it's all of us.
This didn't, I have said it many times before, this didn't start with Obama. It didn't start with Bush. It's not going to end with Biden. The thing is, reality of it is, as we come to an end of our show today, let me just speak from my heart. Like any other time I speak, I don't. But let me speak from heart. I'm in a fairly tough position. Been for last 20 years since I came to America. But lately, for last 30 some days, I'm in a very tough position. A part of my heart is extremely happy and proud because I see my fellow Iranians on the streets dying while fighting. But then another part of me is extremely disappointed because between me, Brannon, and Michael, in last 2 months, we have brought so much evidence, indisputable evidence, to show you that this isn't just a Biden issue or Hussein Obama issue. This is deeper than it goes. It is not a Republican or Democrat issue. This is actual corruption within the government, regardless of which color of the aisle they stand by. And it seems like you listen and the argument is still over left bad, right good. Rhinos don't count as Republicans. That guy was a Democrat, but is now running as Republican. The conversations seem to be completely avoiding the factuality of our country, America, is in desperate need of being saved. And it is not going to save itself. And as a fellow Christian, I will tell you that prayers does not do all the work. Prayers are absolutely powerful and they are required. However, after you do your prayer, you gotta flip that merchant table too. I mean, I'm just saying, yes. It is there. And I'm not, again, neither me or Michael are promoting any kind of violence. We're not asking you to go, hurt people or burn buildings down. We're just saying, if enough of us would show up, this is the point that being keyboard ninja, being even a reporter, commenting or sharing has expired as far as being effective. It's time to show up in person. It's time to go in there, knock on the door and say, you are fired, either you like it or not. It's not about a state versus federal. Remember, we the people holds the power over everyone, from federal government to state government to local county government. So I am reaching out to you, asking you to please step out of your couch, step out of your house, step out of your street, and become an American that cares for every corner of this country. Michigan is still America. Minnesota is still America. Hey, Dallas is still America. So is Boston. Instead of giving up our land piece by piece because we don't want to fight for it, we're gonna have to realize America is what's within every single border of this country. I'm sorry, I'm going on and on, cutting into your time of closing, Michael. But last thing is, one last thing I'm gonna say, I'll promise I'm done. The last thing is, I also want you to realize the division they have created in America, we have played into it. Again, the opening video today. Look at the unity this revolution has brought my people in Iran. Trust me, for years in Iran, we thought we were a bunch of divided people too. But you see a hijabi hugging them, you see a non-hijabi hugging them, you see a kid, you see a grown-up. Let's get united before we have to fight as hard as Iranians are doing. Floor is all yours, Michael.
Yeah, because seeing that like peace and happiness in the streets there, like that's so uplifting. To maintain our republic, though, this requires sacrifices from all of us. It isn't one and done. The founding fathers didn't write the Constitution. They were very clear that it took all of us to maintain it. It's our job to keep our government in check and keep them honest. And that's where we've failed as a nation. We are not doing that now. We haven't been doing that for a very long time. If there's something in our Constitution that needs to change and be updated, we need to do that. Otherwise, we need to hold our leaders accountable. We need to throw the people out. You're right. The party is a mask. It's a game we play. It's cheerleading. It's like watching a sport. If this is your life, this isn't watching the Bengals lose another game. This is real life. So we need to get out there and we need to hold our people accountable, even if that's uncomfortable and it's something you don't want to do. Only other thing I wanted to say real quick is I wanted to give a shout out to Derek Evans that we had on the show a few months ago. He got released from prison on Friday. If you guys remember, he's one of the brave J6 defendants. He'll be back on with us here shortly. Otherwise, is there anything else you wanted to bring up before we check out?
Yes, just a general shout out. First of all, praise the Lord. I was so happy when you told me, I think it was yesterday or day before you told me that Derek Evans is out. Wonderful. It is amazing news. And we are very proud that this experience has not stopped him. If you're not following him on social media, guys, go follow him, because now he's out. He is extremely vocal. He's releasing videos because now they can't touch him anymore. Which again goes back to, I think we should have stopped them from touching any of our innocent political prisoners. But follow him. He is extremely active. He did not allow this experience to break him or push him back. So my heartfelt kudos goes to Derek Evans and his wonderful, beautiful family. His wife, such a strong woman who stood strong while he was serving his prison time. She has stayed in touch with us. She's been a wonderful supporter for us as well. So hallelujah, praise the Lord. But remember, there are still many political prisoners and our prisoners in America. That's another reason for you to show up, defend them, fight for them. Don't let our couple of political prisoners turn into 225,000 and some, like Islamic Republic of Iran. And some of you have been asking me, well, apparently, Michael, we don't do a great job of plugging our stuff. So here we go. We are on social media everywhere. You name it, we're there. Live Up to Freedom. Live Up to Freedom.
Yes.
Let's Be Frank is a child under Live Up to Freedom. So the main name is Live Up to Freedom. You find us on any platform that has still allowed us to be there. If by any chance you don't find us on Live Up to Freedom, then look up my full name, Ina Zaini Cyrus, because some platforms don't allow change of name. So we just stayed with what we were originally. We are very active on all platforms. Between the two of us, we try to post as much as we can. And last but not least, please sign up to our website or send us an email, liveuptofreedom@gmail.com, because within next month or 6 weeks, there will be a call to action where we are going to do an orchestrated nationwide rally in front of our local city halls. We will have all the call to action, posters, demands, papers, petitions, everything will be ready. And you don't want to miss that. Hopefully you want to show up at your city hall and demand what we're about to demand. So sign up, liveuptofreedom.com, liveuptofreedom.com, or liveuptofreedom@gmail.com if you prefer emailing. And mystore.com, mypillow.com, promo code AC21, LUTFstudio.com, promo code Frank if you like to take advantage of some discounts available for our audience here at frankspeech.com and Lindell TV. And that is all I wanted to say, because we need to focus on plugging. That's what I was told by few good friends. And stay strong, keep on praying. But then also take action, because actions are needed. Oh, come on, America is way too gorgeous to lose. We cannot lose America. We're going to fight for her.
Exactly. Prayer requires action. And God's not your genie. You don't ask for something and it magically materializes. He may open a path for you to get there, but it's still up to you to take the actions to get there. And again, our whole message today is about action. Because even with these J6 defendants, all the political prisoners we have in jail now, we had been doing our jobs as Americans and holding our government accountable, we wouldn't be dealing with that right now. There'd probably still be a few people in there that actually caused violence, but everybody else would be gone and out of there. We would be moving on to other things that we need to hold our government accountable for.
Yes, we do. Okay, we are out of time. Stay safe, stay vigilant. And please remember, we have a lot to do, so let's try to get busy. Until the next time, God bless you and God bless America. Goodbye.
Thanks again. Don't forget to live up to freedom.